wanted to kick this off, the show off here this week. Talk a little bit. Chris Hill sent me this article late last week, and I got to reading it, and I mean, really, it's an interesting piece on Wells Fargo and their most recent troubles, but. The article is titled "The Embarrassment That Is Wells Fargo," and it comes from the Charlotte Observer, and it's just. It talks more about a settlement they had to make here with the state of California in regard to insurance policies that they opened for customers without their consent and then went, and charged them for it. There is a skepticism, I think, when it comes to insurance for a lot of people already, just in that very initial leap. But then to do something like that, it's just really, I don't even know where to begin. It's kind of amazing to me that really it only cost him $5 million to bury this thing, because it sounds pretty bad. Yeah, I think if it had extended beyond California, it would have been a little more costly. But this is just the latest in a series of things. I think there was a $500 million settlement just a couple days before. Yeah. Was that the auto insurance, or was that I can't even keep track of these anymore. That was auto loan and mortgage charges. It was a lot of it. You're right. That's the point, though, I think, is it seems like this just never ends. Right, and we thought the fake account scandal was enough. And then I was actually a Wells Fargo auto loan customer, and they tried to charge me for insurance that I didn't need. Oh, really? They sent me a letter saying that they didn't have verification that I had insurance on their auto loan, and that they were going to charge me for their own policy unless I verified my insurance, which I had with no lapse for 6 years. Sure. And so a lot of people didn't actually send in the paperwork like I did and got charged for bogus policies. Yeah. So it's just one thing after another. That seems like it really puts the onus on the customer, though, which, you're in really what ultimately is a customer service business there. And that's I think, one area where they have obviously fallen very flat. Because, I can't imagine. I don't think we have anything with Wells Fargo anymore. We don't have any accounts. I think we once had a mortgage with them, or maybe. But, it just... I don't think I would want to be a Wells Fargo customer. Now, with that said, I am a Bank of America customer, and that's not because I think Bank of America is the most awesome bank out there either. It's just that we've had these accounts forever. They had pretty good online banking when all of that started years ago. And now the cost of switching is just a nightmare. I wouldn't want to get in there and fiddle with it. So, we have our checking account and a couple of savings accounts that run through Bank of America and whatnot. But, I don't know. It seems to me with Wells Fargo, I can't imagine the headline getting any worse. I'm sure it probably will. But even if it does, is there anything? I don't know that I would expect anything material to happen to this company or its fundamentals. Tim Sloan is doing his best to change the public's perception. Yeah. And it's just so far not working. Now, it's also important to point out that these are old issues that are just being settled now. Right. So this is nothing new. We didn't just find out that they had insurance issues in California. But having said that, this is bringing all these old problems that are 2 or 3 years old back fresh in people's minds. It makes it really, really hard to turn the tide. It really does, and I guess I'll wrap it up with this question for you. And I wonder, do you think they can really take back control of the narrative with Tim Sloan still at the helm? Is 2019 the year where Tim Sloan has to move on? I don't know if he definitely has to move on, but I think it's definitely put up or shut up time. Yeah. I think the bank's last quarter looked a whole lot better than the one before it. And if that continues and we can put some of these issues behind them, these are all settled now. So hopefully now we can finally move on a little bit. But if the 2019's results justify it, they might keep him around. But if not, then it might be time for new leadership. Yeah, as that old saying goes, right? Winning takes care of everything. Right. Obviously we tend to look at our companies that we invest in here with a bit more of a, we definitely like to look at the culture of the business and leadership and things like that. And so, everybody has to figure out their own line and where they don't want to invest. wonder if Tim Sloan really is the guy to get it going. But you're right. If the fundamentals come in and, the business is earning money and they're exceeding expectations, I think that, he's punched his ticket. He's good to go and he can stay as long as he likes.
Yeah, the biggest issue is that investors are worried that this is going to cost them customers. And if that turns out not to be the case, then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, to be continued, I suppose.